Hello, it is 9 p.m. in Cairo, our time for top stories, and we start with top news items from Libya. Bernardino اليوم stressed that the political agreement between participants in the national dialogue is now in its final stage, despite postponement of dialogue round with the Moroccan city of Sikhirat to next Thursday. Leon further said that political agreement in Libya is moving towards the final stage, adding that first week of September should be the limit time when then vote on candidates of dialogue participants must take place so as to reach a final agreement by the next meeting of the UN General Assembly in September 21. Sources said that 200 elements of terrorist Boko Haram group are currently fighting in Sirte city alongside terrorist Daesh group. The sources added that migration from Nigeria routes through eastern Niger to Libya makes travel and arrival in Libya easier. Moreover, terrorist Daesh group can easily pay money to smugglers to transport gunmen across that road. Terrorist Boko Haram group had declared its allegiance to terrorist Daesh group in March. Media official at Al Jala Hospital Fadia El Barghati said the hospital has received 9 wounded people of the armed forces. The incident came as a result of armed clashes against terrorist Daesh group in Lethi and Sabri districts of Benghazi. Moreover, Al Barghati noted that the hospital provided first aid to injured people. 5 of them left the hospital, while there are still 4 others receiving medical care. A military official formally denied rumors that operations of Air Force in Nina base of Benghazi was linked with the joint Arab Air Force operations that are due to be formed. Meanwhile, the Arab Libyan armed forces achieved significant progress in Sidi Faraj district in Benghazi, in addition to taking control of Water Ain factory in district. A military source stressed that this progress came in collaboration with Air Force of the armed forces, which launched airstrikes on specific targets, the matter that held land forces to achieve progress on the ground. Chancellor of the Libyan delegation to the Arab League, Ambassador Idris Tayyib, said that taking control of Sirte by terrorist Daesh group was not a surprise. Tayyib said the south is a large open area and a large number of extremists and terrorists came from it. Moreover, he stressed that the need of realizing a quick agreement to launch a national unity government that can defeat terrorism in the Libyan territory, as well as forming a parliament with a clear strategy. Italian Navy organized the rescue of around 4,400 migrants in waters of Libyan coast, prompted by requests for help received from nearly 24 spots in one of the biggest multinational operations so far. Italy's Coast Guard said in a statement today that it had coordinated rescue efforts involving numerous vessels, including a Norwegian and an Irish ship, as part of the European Union Triton rescue mission. Europe is struggling to cope with record influx of refugees as people flee war in countries such as Syria. The Mediterranean has become the world's most deadly crossing point for migrants. More than 2,300 people have died this year in attempts to reach Europe by boat, according to International Organization for Migration. Many are seeking alternative routes to Western Europe. Thousands of rain-soaked migrants stormed across the Macedonia's border as police lobbed stun grenades and beat them with batons, seeking to enforce a decree to stem their flow through the Balkans to Western Europe. And now we transfer to the Arab arena, especially in Yemen. Al-Qaeda militants took control of a western district of Yemen's airport, the city of Aden. Residents said in another sign that the group is drawing strength from 5 months of civil war. The entrance of Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula into Aden, once one of the world's busiest ports and the most secular and secure parts of an otherwise restive countries, would be one of its biggest gains yet. Meanwhile, the United Arab Emirates, UAE state news agency WAM said today that UAE forces based in Aden freed a British hostage which has been held by the group. The hostage area, identified by a Yemeni police source as an oil worker abducted in February last year, was taken to Emirati capital Abu Dhabi on a military plane on Saturday night, the agency said. A Yemeni official said the hostage was rescued near a military base northwest of Aden. Residents say Al-Qaeda fighters have also maintained a presence in the area. On about Daesh crisis in Iraq and Syria, the United States and its coalition partners targeted terrorist Daesh group and 26 airstrikes in a round of daily attacks on the militant group in Iraq and Syria. The Command Joint Task Force said in a statement today. 17 of the strikes were in Iraq, with the greatest concentrations near the cities of Bijou, Mosul, Ramadi, where tactical units, buildings, fighting positions, weapons and vehicles were hit. The statement said the strikes also hit forces near 4 other Iraqi cities. In Syria, it attacks near the cities of Hasaka, Al-Hal and Al-Riqqa, and Ain Isa hit fighting positions, vehicles and a bunker and a tactical unit, as well as 4 bunkers. The statement added that the 9th attack near Washiya had conclusive results. And from Iran, Iran reopened its embassy in London today, hours after Britain restored diplomatic ties with Tehran. Former British Foreign Minister Jack Straw was the last UK minister to visit Tehran in 2003. He spoke of the importance of this diplomatic relationship, which dates back to the 19th century. Relations have always been quite difficult, and they reached a further nadir in November 2011 with the invasions of our embassy in Tehran. But this is really good news, Straw said, referring to the deal on Iran's disputed nuclear program reached last month with 6 major powers. Iranian cleric Mohammad Razavi agreed that it was an important day, saying, "We hope that the relationship gets better between the two countries." Moreover, Iran's Foreign Minister Javad Zarif said today it was too early to talk of reopening the U.S. embassy in Tehran, said that the United States' illogical attitude towards Iran meant the time was not right for a similar move with Washington. In 1980s, Britain's elite Special Air Force Service SAS stormed the Iranian embassy overlooking Hyde Park in London after 6 gunmen demanding the release of Arab prisoners from southwestern Khuzestan province took 26 hostages inside. And about Boko Haram in Somalia, at least 21 people were killed in 2 separate suicide car attacks in Somalia, one in Mogadishu and another at a military training base in the southern border city of Kismayo. Police and military sources today said military group Al-Shabaab has lost control of most of their territories to African Union troops in recent years, but they stepped up attacks in Mogadishu and elsewhere. Al-Shabaab spokesman for military operations says this group was behind the car bomb in Kismayo. The attack at Kismayo University, which is being used as a base for training government troops, was launched as soldiers were lining up for training, military officials said. Colonel Ahmed Artur said at least 16 Somali soldiers were killed and 21 others were wounded in the blast. The second car exploded in the capital, Mogadishu, at a busy junctions in the evening. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the Mogadishu attack. The spokesman for the Interior Security Ministry, Muhammad Yusuf, said so far we know 5 civilians died in this evening blast and 7 others were injured. Top aides of the leaders of North and South Korea negotiated into the evening today after talks through the previous night to try to ease tensions involving an exchange of artillery fire that brought the peninsula to the brink of army conflict. The rare and unusually long meeting at the Pinishmal Truce Village inside the demilitarized zone DMZ began yesterday, shortly after North Korea's deadline for Seoul to halt anti-Pyongyang propaganda broadcasts for phased military actions. It broke up before dawn today and restarted to afternoon with the rivals on high military alert. The South Defense Defense Ministry said the North had deployed twice the usual artillery strength at the border and had more than 50 submarines away from base. South Korea, also on high alert, said it had no plans to halt the propaganda broadcasts that triggered the largest standoff. South Korea's presidential Blue House said in a brief statement earlier today that the envoys discussed ways to resolve tension and improve ties. And finally, from Pakistan and its relation with India, a day after India-Pakistani peace talks collapsed and deadlocked our relations, the presidents of Pakistani Kashmir, Sarada Muhammad Yaqub, today lauded bold and President stance of Pakistan on Kashmir issues. The collapse of planned peace talks between India and Pakistan hours before they were to start today has raised questions about the rivals' willingness to overcome mutual mistrust built since their separations almost 7 decades ago. Pakistan's decision came after India's Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj said that the talks will not take place if Pakistan's advisor Sartaj Aziz insisted on meeting separatists from Kashmir. This is the second time that nuclear-armed neighbors have cancelled talks since Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi took office in May last year, with both sides choosing to engage in a war of words ahead of planned today meeting of their top security advisors. My audience, that is the wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website www.الكرامة.tv. Thanks for being with us. See you next time. My greeting, رانيا البليدى.
التالي